Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the best debuts to characters in film. And just a heads up, we won't be including any animated entries in this video.
Dare challenge Megamind!
Number 20. Quint JAWS. Shark attacks at Amity Island leave the whole town up in arms. A meeting at the town hall is extremely chaotic, with everyone voicing their opinions all at once. However, when they hear nails on a chalkboard, everyone stops and pays attention. This is how we're introduced to the grizzled shark hunter Quint, and once he has their attention, Quint makes clear the threat of the monstrous fish and offers to kill it for $10,000.
I value my neck a lot more than $3,000, Chief. I'll find him for 3, but I'll catch him and kill him for 10.
Robert Shaw's performance is magnetic and captivating right from the get-go. There are few actors who can deliver such a great speech while munching on crackers.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Number 19. Miranda Priestley, The Devil Wears Prada.
I asked for clean, athletic, smiling. She sent me dirty, tired, and paunchy.
Meryl Streep commands the screen in practically every role, but her introduction in this film is especially legendary. After the staff of fashion magazine Runway are informed of Editor-in-Chief Miranda Priestley's unexpected imminent arrival, they all panic.
She's on her way. Tell everyone.
Shoes are changed, workplaces are tidied, and loins are girded in preparation for their tyrannical boss's arrival. And this is all interspersed with shots of Miranda that gradually reveal more and more of her as she arrives. Her staff and even other people in the building may do their best to stay out of her way, but we can't get enough. Though, to be fair, Miranda can't tear us a new one through the screen. Probably. Maybe. Hopefully.
What's your... No. That wasn't a question.
Number 18. Dr. Frankenfurter, The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
How'd you do,
There are few actors quite as extra as Tim Curry, and few would argue that his most extra role of all is that of Dr. Frankenfurter. When Brad and Janet find themselves in Frank's castle, they're unnerved by the vibe of the inhabitants. Things reach another level entirely though, when Frank descends in an elevator and launches into his famous musical number, Sweet Transvestite.
I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual.
Between Curry's scenery-chewing performance and daring and iconic fashion choices, and the oh-so-catchy song, this is one scene that never fails to deliver or make us shiver with anticipation.
So I'll remove the cause. But not the symptom.
Number 17. Tina Carlile, The Mask.
Such a mess.
You might think that in a movie with a green-faced reality-warping cartoon of a character, played by Jim Carrey, it would be impossible for anyone to have a better introduction than him. And you'd be wrong. With a clap of thunder, Tina Carlile walks into the bank where the future Mask's alter ego Stanley Ipkiss works. The long, lingering shots on Carlile and her red dress, combined with Ipkiss and his co-workers' stunned reactions, make it one of the most flattering introductions to a character. And to the actress too, since it was Cameron Diaz's first movie role. Male gaze gone wild? Absolutely. But The Mask really does put it best with his reaction to her later. It's an unforgettable one for sure. Number 16. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Are we ready? Yes! Good! In we go!
The elusive chocolatier Willy Wonka is much discussed in the early part of the film that bears his name, so there's already plenty of build-up by the time 5 kids and their parents and guardians are granted the opportunity to tour his famous factory. Yet when the door opens and we see Gene Wilder decked out in that iconic purple coat and top hat, the audience, both on and off screen, is riveted. After a slow, limping walk to the gate, he seemingly forgets his cane and falls forward, only to turn it into a roll. It's a perfect distillation of Wonka's character, with an element of mercurial whimsy and deception at play from the very beginning. Even better, Wilder improvised the role. What a legend!
This is going to be such an exciting day. I hope you enjoy it. I think you will.
Number 15. Cormoran Beam, RRR. This Indian period action romp is pretty epic in every single scene, and while Ram's fiery entrance is awesome as well, and kind of terrifying, we're going for his bestie's introduction instead. Cormoran Beam's debut starts with an incredible upside down reflection shot, and it only gets better from there. The village guardian covers himself in blood and attempts to lure a wolf into a trap laid by his friends. However, a tiger is lying in wait on the path. After the huge cat chases off the wolf, Beam catches the tiger instead. Except the tie on the neck comes undone, forcing some unprecedented acts of manliness. Beam comes face to face with the beast and ultimately puts it to sleep. So badass. Number 14, the T-800 Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
Look, we know the original Terminator basically did the same entrance first, but you know what? Like just about everything else, the sequel did it better. In an empty parking lot, lightning and then a dark sphere appears, out of which appears the iconic Terminator played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He may be naked, but he aims to rectify that by going into a nearby bar. He scans the bewildered occupants for matching size clothes and then tears his way through anyone who tries to stop him. Much like the song that plays over its conclusion, this introduction is bad to the bone. Number 13, Sheriff Ali, Lawrence of Arabia.
I am Ali ibn al-Kharish.
This famous epic is loaded with memorable scenes, yet there's something special about this one. The eponymous Lawrence and his guide have stopped at a well when they hear a noise in the distance, and a shape appears in the mirage-shrouded horizon. It's gradually revealed to be a man riding a camel approaching them. The guide panics and goes for his gun, only to be shot by the man, Sheriff Ali. I mean, it is Ali's well after all.
This is my well.
I have drunk from it.
Between the amazing mirage shot and Ali's punny joke, it's an unforgettable scene of classic cinema.
He was nothing. The well is everything.
Number 12, Hans Landa, Inglourious Bastards.
May I smoke my pipe as well?
As one of the most memorable movie villains ever, it's natural that Hans Landa makes quite the entrance. The Nazi investigator visits French dairy farmer Perrier Lapidite's farm in search of Jews in hiding. Despite his horrifying objective, Landa is charming and well-spoken. Yet, as his interrogation continues and his reputation as the Jew hunter becomes clear, Landa becomes more and more sinister.
You're sheltering them underneath your floorboards, aren't you?
Yes.
Eventually, he makes it clear that he knows the Jews are there, and where they are. The permission he gets to have them killed only makes the moment more heartbreaking. At 19 minutes, it's a long introduction, but the scene is such a masterclass of writing, direction, and acting that it's well worth the wait.
Shoshana!
Number 11, Superman, Superman.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
Yes, we know, Clark Kent appears before this scene in the film, but the debut of his red, yellow, and blue wearing alter ego is the iconic entrance we all remember. When Lois Lane is involved in a helicopter accident, Clark makes a quick change in a revolving door and flies to her rescue.
Excuse me.
Lois's reaction is perfect, and the Man of Steel's cryptic words leave her as intrigued as we are. Is the scene a bit dated and silly by today's standards? Yeah, probably. But then the iconic John Williams score kicks in and, well, you believe a man can fly.
Who are you?
A friend.
Number 10, Nightcrawler X2 X-Men United.
Excuse me, sir. Are you lost?
The opening scene of this superhero film sees a group touring the White House. However, a suspicious mutant member of the tour lingers and begins attacking guards.
Perimeter breach at Visitors Checkpoint.
Kurt Wagner, better known as Nightcrawler, tears his way through security by teleporting, running along walls, and generally causing chaos, all set to music by Mozart. The brainwashed mutant comes inches away from assassinating the US president. The whole scene remains not only one of the greatest showcases of teleportation ever put on screen, but also one of the best introductions for a superhero movie. Number 9, Trinity, The Matrix.
Hands in your head! Do it!
In 1999, audiences in theatres were not prepared for this scene, and it still gives us chills today. Following an ambiguous phone conversation, we see several policemen approach a woman in a dimly lit room. Agents arrive and warn the officer in charge. His men are already dead. Cut to Trinity, who easily dispatches the officers in an iconic and then unprecedented slow-mo shot, as well as some high kicks and wall running. Her ensuing escape sees her and one of the pursuing agents leap across huge gaps. Our minds were blown back then, and it remains an iconic and incredible introduction to both Trinity and the Matrix itself. Number 8. Captain Jack Sparrow, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Sometimes the introduction of a character can sum them up in their entirety. Such is the case with the entrance of Captain Jack Sparrow. We're treated to an epic shot of Jack atop a mast, riding into the harbour, but upon heroically swinging down, he lands in a puddle of his flooding and small boat. This kind of grandeur offset by comedy is the essence of Jack Sparrow. And then he just sort of steps off the top of his mast with perfect timing onto the dock. The arrival of Jack Sparrow, or Mr. Smith, to Port Royal is one we won't forget anytime soon.
What do you say to 3 shillings? And we forget the name.
Number 7. The T-Rex, Jurassic Park. Movie monsters often make dramatic entrances, but this dinosaur tears the rest to shreds. When a tour group of the titular park is stranded near the Tyrannosaurus Rex's paddock after the power is cut, disaster is just inevitable. First, Tim notices a booming sound, and the cups of water left on the dashboard start to shake. Then, he and Lex notice the goat, meant to be the dino's dinner, is missing.
Where's the goat?
The T-Rex soon escapes its enclosure, giving its famous roar. Its ensuing rampage and the group's desperate attempts to escape it make for an incredible debut for this mighty movie predator. Number 6. The Wicked Witch of the West, The Wizard of Oz.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
The land of Oz seems a whimsical and enchanting place upon Dorothy Gale and Toto's arrival. The Munchkins are quite happy that Dorothy's house killed the Wicked Witch of the East, but with a cloud of red smoke, their celebrations are interrupted and the witch's sister, the Wicked Witch of the West, makes her debut.
Well, my little pretty, I can cause accidents too.
The witch's sickly green look, broomstick and explosive entrance and exit make an immediate impression, as does her famous threat against Dorothy and her small canine.
I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too.
Playing the witch, poor Margaret Hamilton actually got terribly burned making her fiery escape, a painful price to pay to make that lasting impression. Number 5. Hannibal Lecter, The Silence of the Lambs.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
This cannibalistic psychiatrist is an absolutely iconic villain, and his introduction makes quite an impact. Trainee FBI agent Clarice Starling arrives to interview Dr. Lecter, and after passing unhinged, crazed criminals, she sees Hannibal, standing there unnervingly straight and already staring at her.
That is rather slippery of you, Agent Starling. Sit, please.
Her attempt to get him to fill in a survey may be unsuccessful, but her journey is far from wasted. While he's the one behind the glass, Hannibal still dominates the conversation, alternating between erudite musings, insightfully snide insults, and straight-up terrifying behaviour. And just like Clarice, while we may find Dr. Lecter frightening, it's impossible not to be enthralled by his every word.
Listen carefully, look deep within yourself, Clarice.
Number 4. The Joker, The Dark Knight. Who doesn't love a good heist, eh? Well, the Clown Prince of Crime certainly does. In this tense opening sequence, a group of clown-masked criminals rob a mob bank. As the tension mounts, several of them kill other members of the crew, reducing the number of ways the haul has to be split. Eventually, with 2 men left, one suspects that he's next, but the last man distracts him long enough to be hit by the bus.
What bus driver?
When the mob enforcer rails at the final clown, asking what principles he has, the criminal removes his mask, revealing the Joker in full makeup. Heath Ledger's Joker may be stranger, but his reveal and performance are immaculate.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Number 3. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. In 1936, in the Peruvian jungle, we're introduced to one of cinema's most famous heroes. After one of his guides betrays him and he whips away the gun, we're treated to a fantastic shot of Indy himself. He and his remaining guide proceed inside a ruined temple laden with booby traps. From Indiana replacing the golden idol with a bag of sand, to the giant boulder trap, to his frantic escape from the natives, this sequence is iconic from start to finish. And it's not just an epic introduction to Indiana Jones either, it's also one of the most famous scenes in film, period. Number 2. Darth Vader, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Don't act so surprised, Your Highness.
The entire opening sequence of the original Star Wars film is epic, from the initial shot of the ships to Princess Leia's memorable plea for help, but it's the introduction of one of cinema's greatest villains that sticks out the most. With just a change in ominous music and the overpowering, unforgettable sound of his breathing, Darth Vader's presence immediately screams bad guy. I mean, sure, James L. Jones' amazing voice, the iconic costume, and the fact that Darth Vader chokes a guy out in pursuit of the Death Star plans are pretty big clues that he's a bad guy too. The point is that every other movie villain could take a lesson on how to make a dramatic entrance from Vader.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Chestburster, Alien.
What's the matter? The food ain't that bad, baby.
There are plenty of surprising character entrances out there, and then there's this one. There's really no preparing for it, and you're never the same after watching it. The crew of the Nostromo have a scare with an alien lifeform attaching itself to Kane's face, but after removing it, everything seems to be fine and dandy.
How you doing? Terrific. Next silly question.
But then Kane starts to feel a bit unwell. As he convulses in pain, the crew hold him down and a small alien infant bursts from his torso. There is truly no movie introduction quite like this one. So, is there a movie character's debut we forgot to include? We need your comments, your boots, and your motorcycle down below.
You forgot to say please.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.